Only a few people would say that Luis Enrique was going to be outsmarted by Javier Mascherano. I mean, we are talking about Javier Mascherano, who's coaching an Inter Miami team, versus a Champions League winning coach. And yes, there's always that Messi effect, but we did not really expect that Messi was going to take on PSG by himself. But this showed that it was just more than about the tactical genius of Luis Enrique or the inexperience of Javier Mascherano, but it was more technical. It wasn't much about a tactical masterclass from one coach or the other, but it was more about how good are the players that each team had. Because we're talking about Usman Tembele, and then you go on the other side, you have Marcelo, you have a player like Jordi Alba on his final years, and then you have, once again, a player who cannot scan in his own box. No communication, zero, nada, when we talk about Falcon. So we're going to look at those moments in this game of Inter Miami versus PSG. And you will see that this wasn't a game that was, oh wow, this coach is a genius. And we're going to start by looking at how poor PSG made Inter Miami look. Or can we just say how poor Inter Miami were and how good they made PSG look? It depends on how you look at it, really. Because if we start here, you will see that this is poor 1v1 defending. It's something that you are told as a defender. Show the striker or the attacker down the line. But look at what the right back does in this case. He does not show him down the line. Instead, he tries to engage him. This is early on in the game. And what happens from here? PSG get a good chance, but then they miss. Few minutes later, same thing happens. Marcelo once again, he tries to not show the attacker down the line. And then when he twists, comes around, concedes a foul, and then because of that foul, they get a free kick. That's how the first goal goes in. This is basic defending. It has nothing to do, oh wow, did you see how PSG were moving? No. And then you look at how they then conceded the second goal. Jordi Alba, as we talked about, the legs are kind of gone now. And he's not pressing the person he's supposed to be pressing. And there's a gap behind him, and Busquets is late in trying to cover for Alba. The ball is played across. But also, if you look, if we rewind this video, you will see that Falcon, not once does he look back. Not once does he look behind himself to see who's there. So he has zero awareness. And the defender behind him also has Alves. He has no idea what is happening. And then the ball hits him, and then it's a goal. And then for the fourth goal, if you pause here, you would think there isn't anyone behind Jordi Alba until you play the video. And then you realize, there's someone behind Alba. And then Alba slows down here, anticipating that PSG was scoring. But they didn't. So now he has to try and sprint, and it's too late, and Hakimi scores. It's the fourth goal. I did not forget the second goal. But so far, what you're looking at is just failure to recognize and deal with simple problems, or problems that should be simple for professional footballers. You'll think that. By the way, if you're enjoying the video, please do make sure to subscribe to the channel for more breakdowns of matches like these. Which then brings us to the second thing, which is basically how Inter Miami considered their second goal. So it's also a trend, because if you look here, you will see that the ball is with the defender. Falcon is on the ball, and then he just takes his time until pressure is applied to him. Now Inter Miami have to play and try to play out of pressure. And we know this, guys. Doesn't matter who you are, PSG will press you. And now you're Inter Miami, your players are not that great, but you want to dilly-dally on the ball. But we're also going to talk about why this was towards the end of the video. So you see, even with this goal, you know it's bad when Sergio Busquets make a mistake, because they pass the ball to him. Again, it takes too long on the ball, and then they nick the ball off of him, and then they end up scoring the goal. So these are things that you're like, oh man, from a technical point of view, PSG were superior. Obviously, they are superior, but also Inter Miami were very poor. But then you realize that actually Inter Miami are much better than what they look like. Like you look at these chances from back to forward. Like Inter Miami were finding themselves in these positions, getting the ball from back to front, getting shots on target, and then taking shots, and at times even transitioning and getting themselves in the right positions. Until I realized that, hey, actually, even those chances were not of a high quality. It feels to me as though the second half, two things might have happened. One, from just watching the game, it looks like Inter Miami came back and they were like, Mascherano told them, listen, guys, you have to go out there and represent, right? But maybe also it feels like Luis Enrique was like, guys, we're winning 4-0. Just make sure that we keep what we have. But they were not trying to defend because they still went forward and tried to get better chances. But it also looked like Mascherano's men were trying much better to go forward. But even so, the chances that they got, they were not really high quality chances. It was just, oh, we got to the other side. But it never really looked threatening. But what did you guys make of Inter Miami getting absolutely demolished by PSG? Let me know down on the comment section below. Do not forget to subscribe. Do not forget to subscribe. Bye bye.